we are going to be sharing our tips and tricks on how to get started on a podcast.
Here we go.
Welcome to Gal's office. This is where the podcast magic happens. In the meantime, Gal, do you want to show us your office?
Yeah, let's
Give a
do
little
it.
tour.
All right, so this is our unit. There's many other cool spots in this office, but this is where it's at. I sit right here, and this is where the empire begins to be built.
Okay, let's grab some markers and
Let's do this.
I'm going to give you guys a little rundown of what you can expect from today's podcast vlog. So, I'm going to tell you guys the items you need to get started. Can you see that? How you get started. How do you get started? I'm going to tell you. Platforms that we use to make streaming global on every single platform. I'm going to share with you some helpful advice of things that we've learned throughout our short time doing podcasts. We've grown, we've learned some things. I'm going to share it all with you. It's pretty valuable information, and keep tuned. Okay, so our routine starts here at this table.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, part one is actually kind of at home.
Yeah.
We kind of write down ideas throughout the week and have a list of good ideas that we get from our followers or just things that we've thought of. And then we come here.
And we kind of hash it out. We kind of think about, okay, what topic do we want to take? And then we discuss it and we write down just general kind of takeaways that we want to go into the booth with. It's not exactly scripted, but we just have some bullet points type thing.
So after we sit and we come up with like our key takeaways that we want people to get from our podcast, we go in the booth, we record, then we go home, and either one of us, we usually take turns.
I'll do 1 week, you'll do another, editing.
Which we are going to discuss and share everything you need to know about editing and stuff like that. But yeah, so then we edit it, and then that's when promoting comes in.
Yeah, once it's uploaded, then it's just like whatever social channels we have, or word of mouth even, we promote to get people to listen.
Yeah, so that is, in a nutshell, our routine. We're actually recording a real podcast today, so we're gonna actually start with our step 2, and then we'll get back to sharing more with you guys. Okay, so we finished jotting down some ideas. Now we're gonna go in the recording booth and start recording our podcast. Okay, so this is our soundproof booth that we record our podcast in. It's really tiny, and this is the reason that we haven't done like filming and putting it on YouTube. Like a few people have recommended that we do. It's literally big enough for 2 people, and the lighting is terrible. As you can see, this is how tiny it is. But it really makes our sound quality so good. So, love this little guy. Okay, so we're gonna record a quick podcast, and then we're going to share with you what we bought and how we got started and all of that jazz. Be right back. So we just finished recording our podcast. It was about 45 minutes to an hour of record time, which means it will come out to about 30 minutes after we edit and everything. But look, it's dark. The daylight is gone. Okay, so let's get started and tell you what tools you need to get started and little tips and tricks. Okay, let's get into it. How we got started, what you need. Step 1, you need a mic.
A mic.
We actually have this mic. It's the Shure MV88.
Yeah, it's awesome. Look, it literally just plugs into an iPhone, and I'm sure that they have ones for Android as well. But it's super simple and easy. There's this little part. This is a high quality mic, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna link everything below, but this mic was about $150. And honestly, for a mic, that's not that expensive. But if you don't have a mic, you can also use, if you have an iPhone, it comes with headphones that have a mic. And I've heard of a lot of people doing podcasts with just an iPhone mic. But we do highly recommend this. It's perfect for what we do. When we start having more people on our podcast, when that comes about, we're gonna upgrade our mics to a few other mics. And we can link those down below as well, just in case you wanna skip and go 0 to 100 and get the best mic right off the bat. Just before we move on from this mic, use this for our Instagram stories sometimes. If we film vlogs on our phone, we use it. It's nice because it's so tiny. Yeah, it makes everything sound like so crisp. It can point either way, like this way or that. And even if I do a thing like that, it just sounds beautiful. Yeah. You need to have a hosting platform, a distribution platform, streaming platform of some sort. And guess what? We talk about this platform all the time on our podcast, Anchor FM. And babe, you can take it away because you're the one who really set it up. Yeah, it made us sound and look real legit because it put us on every platform. If you're an Android user, we're on Google Podcasts. If you're Apple, you can Apple Podcasts. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any platform. You upload to Anchor, it's free. And if you want, you can even edit on Anchor. But if you don't want to use that editing software, we'll get to that in a sec. The point is you put it on there and it will spread it to every platform worldwide easily. So check out anchor.fm and it's free to use. Editing software. Now, like y'all said, Anchor FM does have an editing software, but I personally use Final Cut Pro 10 because I already have it on my computer. But if you have a Mac, every Mac comes with iMovie, and iMovie is perfect. You don't need some advanced editing software to do it. You're just cutting. And some people don't even cut their podcasts. Yeah, so. Some people like to have it unedited. We edit it and try to take out noises and things. And I use a PC, so I use Audacity. It's a program called Audacity, also free. You download it. It gives you everything you need for all the editing that you need to do a podcast. So that's what I would recommend if you're using a PC like me. So now I'm going to get into a few little things that will just add a little pizzazz to your podcast and make you guys stand out. We have music that is in our intro and outro, and it makes us stand out. So many people said it sounds so professional with your intro and outro music. Yeah. We recommend you do that. Now, I wouldn't recommend copyrighted music. And what that means, if you don't know, it's just any official music that you might hear that's on Spotify that's for sale. You don't want to go take that and use that on your podcast. There's sites where you can get music for making videos and publishing it. So it's more general music, but really good quality music in all kinds of genres too. Yeah, so I use Artlist, and you do pay for it. It's a monthly to yearly subscription fee, and you can download as many songs as you'd like, not copyrighted. Refer to our podcast if you'd like for inspiration. Yes. A podcast artwork. You want it to really show what your podcast is about. You want it to look nice. And you're probably wondering, where do I make podcast artwork? We use Canva. It's free, and you can get a premium plan if you want. Right. And it's so nice. It has everything. It has a bunch of fonts. It has just every layout situation you could want. I do YouTube covers with it. We did our podcast cover with it. Yeah, it makes you, gives you the tools of being an advanced graphic designer in a very basic, easy to use format. Yeah, I love it. I think you will have so much fun with it. And yeah, so make sure to create artwork for your podcast. Oh yes. A catchy one. You want it to catch people's eyes. The next one, which Gal kind of already spoke about when we were talking about how to get started, is have a soundproof area. Now, this isn't a must, but it definitely adds to the quality of your sound and sets you apart and makes you sound professional. Now, we have filmed a podcast in our apartment, and we live on a really busy road, and you could kind of hear it, but it wasn't even that bad. No, it wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. Yeah. Partially because of the mic, and partially we just closed the doors and kept the thing close to us, and it was fine. But that's a worst case scenario. We really live in a noisy area. Yeah, so really I'm sure you can create a soundproof area in your house if you wanted. Just go somewhere that's not so echoey and doesn't have a lot of noise, and it will add to the quality of your sound, and that's obviously key in a podcast when all you hear is sound. Yeah, stick a towel under the crack of your door and create a little, even your own room, and it can be enough, really. Yeah. And last but not least, a little piece of advice is survey what your listeners want to hear more of. Yeah, do polls, ask questions, speak to your friends. Yeah, on Instagram you have Ask Me Anything, and right there you can have a section where your friends ask you stuff. We get 90% of our podcast topics from already people who listen, and what's awesome is it brings them back and they want to share it with people because they got something that they found useful. Exactly, and once you put out that first one, people are going to feedback to you. Take that on and kind of learn from it so that you can give more of what you want to give, but also what people want to hear. Yeah, it's like ensuring a listenership. Yeah, absolutely. It is. It really is. Yeah. Okay, so before we end, I just want to share some things that we learned along the way. You can start, Babers. Okay, so I feel like
a basic idea is just start. Just put out the first thing. Don't worry too much about the quality yet, because as you go, you'll find ways to improve your quality and improve how you do things. But don't let the worry of the quality stop you from starting. Just get right into it.
True. Another one is, I don't know if this is true, but actually Gal read this up on something that most people don't make it to episode 8 of their podcast. So really push through, see if you can make it to 8. Don't stop around 3, 4 and be like, no one's listening or whatever. Push through and get past 8 and maybe magic will happen.
Maybe. That was our first goal and we made it.
Yes.
We did episode 18 today.
Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's on jealousy.
Yeah.
And last but not least, when you do a podcast, you're putting yourself out there, and some people may not understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So feel free to explain to them, make them understand like why this new passion sparked up.
Yeah, and then they'll want to support you because they understand you and want to help you go where you're going. So put yourself out there and just know that you might need to explain it in a good way. Just tell people about what you're doing so that they get excited like you are.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. So it is time.
So that concludes today's vlog on how to start a podcast. I hope it was helpful. I hope we gave some like tidbits that maybe you weren't expecting or helpful links. I don't know. I'm going to link everything down below. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Listen to our podcast if you want to get some ideas. It has some helpful tips. Yeah, that concludes today's podcast, guys. Or that concludes today's vlog.
See where we're at? Now we're going to go edit it.
Yeah, off to editing.
Okay, bye guys.
I can't stop this feeling.